Talk about bizarro world. Talk about the last days. My name is Jack Allen Willard. Don't bury your head in the sand. It's not the time for that. It's not the time to sit on the fence. Besides, if the fence is spiky, it could be painful. The government says your kids are not yours. When you start hearing stuff like that, look out. It was really Hillary that was one of the first people to introduce the concept when she said it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village. What that was code for was we want to have a whole lot more control over your kids. The government needs to be much more involved. Fast forward to a time of a COVID pandemic, which was a great tool for the now out of the closet progressives to take control, to take more control of your life. The Democrats had always been about big government, more laws, more rules. Well, now, when COVID came along, oh, what a great opportunity. They milked it. They milked it, my friend. So, this is not the time for, as Don Henley sang about, in terms of Tiffany and Megan and Heather, all she wants to do is dance. If you think that way, you might get to dance under Chinese rule at some point because everything is going south. Everything is going south. And we don't have to wake up in the morning and say, I've got to be down in the dumps. No, but we've got to be aware so we can make good choices and even be happy during these crazy, dark times that are only going to get worse. The government says that you are not to be the governing force when it comes to your own kids. The kids are not yours. Joe Biden says that. Jean-Pierre, perhaps the worst press secretary who never answers a question, she said that as well. I've never seen so much dancing around issues, lying to reporters. But most of the time, it's just the Fox reporter that they have to deal with. The other reporters are, they are not their parents' reporters. All objectivity, all credibility has been thrown aside. The mission now is to get Trump at any cost. So now we have Jake Tapper out of the closet, letting us know that he will decide what we can see and what we can't see. Trump gets indicted. Afterwards, Trump, on the way back to the airport, stops at a German restaurant/bakery. Jake Tapper doesn't want you to see that. Take that off. Take that off. He just wants to turn that into a campaign commercial. I don't want to see that. Chris Licht, who was running CNN, got booted out because Aaron Burnett, Jake Tapper, and others went to someone higher up than the CEO and complained about Chris Licht. And since the ratings weren't that good, except when they did the Trump town hall, then they had millions of viewers, they decided to get rid of him. Now, I had heard that those who own CNN still want a middle-of-the-road real news channel, not a propaganda tool for the progressive party. So maybe there's hope there that they'll hire someone even more strict. The billionaire John Catsimatidis, who owns WABC Radio in New York City, would love to buy CNN. He'd make incredible changes. Megyn Kelly said recently, and she has been saying a lot of truth lately, a lot of poignant comments, CNN, to ever have a chance of getting their audience back that they have so squandered in their unprofessionalism, would have to get rid of a whole lot more talent. We're talking about the anchors, not the great field reporters. Well, some of them, some of the young kids are, so woke and it just comes through the pores of their skin. But you got to get rid of so many of the main anchors and a lot of the behind the scenes people, because they are part of the machine that has brought CNN from a credible news source where people actually like people like Tapper and Anderson and Wolf Blitzer, and it has made them so nauseated that they don't want to watch that crap. They know what propaganda is. No matter what you think of Trump, when you compare him to Joseph R. Biden, there's no doubt in your mind. There's no doubt in your mind who you'd have to pick in that contest. And I don't even want to go into Kamala Harris, who supposedly has hired someone to give her a public makeover because she's just not connecting in any way. Back when she ran for president, she dropped out before the first primary. And then look what she got. Insanity, madness has been thrust upon us by people that have no credibility. When I see the congressmen, the Democratic, they're not a Democrat, Ted Kennedy, George McGovern, Orrin Hatch. Well, Orrin Hatch was a conservative, but there were some Democrats back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that would not be happy at all with today's movement to destroy the fabric and the values of America, to blanket America with perverse notions that increasingly involve children. As Tucker Carlson recently said, your taboo thoughts, your dark thoughts are not something that you want to act on. That's in essence what he said. Move on from them. Move on for them. Never try to justify your sinful thoughts. Don't turn them into action. Don't turn them into action. It is just so weird what is going on, how they are targeting children in so many ways, targeting like Target is doing with coloring books. School boards, the city council, even in Dallas, Texas. How did these people get elected in Dallas, Texas? To try to throw a woke agenda and force people to use various pronouns. I mean, if you are a guy and you're going to tell me your name is Sally, I'll call you Sally. But I'm not going to walk on eggshells around you because you are so sensitive. We don't have to make this more difficult than it is. If you prefer to be called a name, I'll call you by that name. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. But now we have transgender men at the White House event who have developed breasts because they're getting hormone shots, and they are now dancing around the White House lawn, exposing their breasts, and there are children there. What is going on? What is going on? I think we can probably say now with no problem that President Biden is not a man of faith. He's an enemy of the scripture. He's an enemy of the teachings of Jesus Christ. Why the Catholic Church hasn't stopped him from getting communion, I have no idea. They want to. They've talked about it, but they haven't done it. But yeah, the guy who likes to smell young girls' hair, the guy who they say, according to the Ashley Biden diary, and no one has ever said that wasn't an authentic diary, the man who showered with his daughter. And I'm not talking about when she was 2 years old or 3 years old. Considerably older than that, apparently. And she said it screwed her up. Screwed her up. When you try to take something that the good book warns us about as something that is repulsive to God and will cause severe judgment, and you try to normalize it in the name of sexual freedom. We're talking about children. When you start to lop off the breast of young girls or chemically castrate young boys that are in no way ready to make those kind of life-altering forever decisions, when you start to do that, we are definitely in the last days. And you got to know that. You got to know that. Everybody wants to indict Donald Trump now. They are so afraid that he could become president again because he would thwart their wicked ways. Conservative Republicans do not try to stop gay or bisexual people from living their life in peace. They do not. People of faith are called racist when actually the person calling them that is usually the real racist. Our representatives are just opportunists all out for themselves. When you look at someone like Adam Schiff or Joaquin Jeffries, you know that if they tell you there's a chair behind you, you better look first before you sit down. You better look. You could find yourself on the floor. So here we are in this terrible battle. Will it lead to a civil war? I don't know. I certainly hope not. Conservatives are not the ones who go and march in the streets and burn down cities, burn down businesses, who try to take everybody's rights away. It's the opposite. But at the same time, you can't allow 1% of the population to take all your rights away, to destroy women's sports, to destroy privacy in a locker room, and present their philosophy as something you must agree with. You must agree with them. This is not Russia. This is not North Korea. This is not China. We are free to have our own beliefs. We just don't push them out on other people, and we certainly don't go after the kids. We certainly don't do that. So here we are watching all this. Lindsey Graham is back in favor with the conservatives because he has become a staunch supporter, a defender of Donald Trump, which he has done before. Yet he would not agree with Donald Trump that the Ukraine war is something that has to end. President Trump says that he could end it very quickly, let's say. And whether that's true or not, someone like Lindsey Graham, even though we have sent $113 billion and more to the Ukraine, and where the heck is it? Where the heck is it? What did it go for? What has it accomplished? All that. There are people that just want us to keep spending and spending and spending, even though the national debt is so bad now. Future generations, as the Generation Z grows up, there won't be any money left for them. Money that was supposed to be spent on infrastructure, as Tucker Carlson said, just doesn't seem to be being used properly. No. It's so great to see Tucker Carlson on Twitter. He's released 3 programs so far. He is more brilliant than he's ever been, certainly one of the best that we have. And it's such a pity that Fox doesn't find a way to settle this. They say, well, he belongs exclusively to us, but he doesn't want to. They don't want to allow Tucker a voice. If he gets 100 million views on Twitter, that probably means if he comes back into the 8 o'clock slot on Fox News, he will get higher ratings than he ever did when he was getting between 3 and 6 million views a night. But you see, he's so cutting edge. He says the things that we only think about. He nails the evil agenda like nobody else. It's not the same repetitive thing every night. He's got fresh new things to say, and the woke progressive / communists don't want him saying it. They don't want that at all. And Fox News is in a struggle for its identity, especially as Rupert Murdoch's children that are progressives are waiting in the wings. So you take off your most popular guy, lose a good part of your audience, and you just, you do what CNN is doing. You just ride the ship down to the bottom of the ocean floor. It's just a terrible thing. Gavin Newsom with Sean Hannity. Well, he's a little smarter than I thought he was. He did say he owns the homeless problem, where people are shooting up and people are leaving San Francisco, businesses and people that have lived there for many decades. He tries to play down the numbers and what have you, but he knows that parts of California, like the downtown San Francisco area, are quickly becoming a ghost town because people don't want to live in something like a third world country. So here we are in perilous times, to say the least. And as a person of faith, even though the older I get, the less I know, the more I come to the realization that, hey, it's a faith walk. There's things I'm not going to be able to understand, but I know what I need to be doing every day. And in the midst of that, you can have a joyous life unless you get in the path of the wrong people. You have to be careful. I wouldn't be riding the New York City subway or living in downtown Chicago, for example. I'd love to know your experiences, what you think. Jack the Fair Guy is my address. Jack the Fair Guy, Fair Guy at gmail.com. And we have a live broadcast most Saturday nights here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. We talk about all kinds of things, 11 p.m. East Coast time. So join us and check out all our videos here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, including our Elvis/Bob Joyce videos that are a lot of fun. All right? Thanks for watching. My name is Jack Allen Willard.